13 dangers kids totally ignored in the 1970s. And it's gonna be a super interesting video to see what kind of dangerous things kids was ignoring in the 1970s. I know today's world is totally different from back then. It's gonna be really good to see like the differences and stuff. Before we get into this, appreciate if you guys can hit that subscribe button. Let's check this out.
Growing up in the 1970s was an adventurous and carefree time, where kids still had plenty of freedom.
Right.
They explored, played, and took risks that would make some people cringe today.
Okay.
Safety certainly wasn't the top priority, but these daring activities did leave us with an independent spirit.
Hey, wait. First of all, kids are going outside? That didn't even happen nowadays.
And the memories still bring a smile to those who lived through it. So let's take a look back at the dangers kids ignored in the 1970s.
Let's see. What kind of dangers, man? What are you kids getting up to?
In the 1970s, kids still spent quite a bit of time around train tracks. If they weren't placing pennies on the tracks, they might be found hurling rocks at passing trains or using the rails as a balance beam. Walking along the tracks was common, and making it across a trestle was an adventure for many kids.
Wait, hold up. Did no one tell the kids that's dangerous? Oh, yeah, people are doing that now. Walking on the train tracks, throwing rocks at the trains, putting coins on the... Bro, you don't play with the train track. Nah, let me know if you guys was a kid during the 1970s. Is this what you was doing?
Despite the dangers, kids would dare each other to keep going, even when they heard the distant rumble of a train.
No way.
The narrow trestles, which sometimes stretched over deep ravines, added to the thrill. Back then, the potential danger of falling or being hit by a train was a real fear. But some kids still worked up the courage to accept the challenge.
That's mad.
Having a BB...
Bro, that is actually crazy. Playing on the train tracks. What?
BB gun was a regular pastime in the 1970s.
Right.
Target practice was usually an old soda can, and carrying them around the neighborhood was commonplace. Many kids would also have BB gun fights with their friends. In the 1970s, being shot by a BB was a badge of honor, and no adults were around to tell them to stop.
You know what? When I was a kid, I did play with a few BB guns. I did. It was fun until you got one that really hurt. Then, you know, it hurt, but was fun as well.
Getting hit on your bare skin would leave a good-sized welt, but it would heal and not stop you from doing it again.
Right.
Sure, BBs could ricochet and hit someone in the face or eye, but that was just an acceptable risk. In those days...
Hey, you know what? I remember when I was a kid, I had loads of BB guns, and we had a BB gun fight on the street, and someone got hit that wasn't a part of, like, our group. It was just like, it just flew and hit her. And, bro, I was so scared. Her dad came, like, running around the corner. He was like, I was only a kid, so he looked like he was 10 foot tall. Oh, my God, I was so scared. I don't even know who shot her, but it was my BB guns. And I was like, oh, yep, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble.
Everyone, including parents, seemed to have a much higher tolerance for danger.
Right. Yeah, I still can't believe the trains,
Exploring abandoned buildings or sneaking onto construction sites was a classic 1970s activity. Kids were outside constantly and would fill their day with all sorts of adventures.
Hey, don't tell me you go into places like this, mate. That's just not safe. That's just not safe.
Including climbing over rusty nails, broken glass, and loose boards without giving it a second thought. The thrill of discovering an empty space and turning it into a secret clubhouse or battleground outweighed the risks of stepping on sharp objects.
Hey, I don't know what it is with the kids in the 1970s, but were you, like, indestructible? Was that what it is? Because it does sound fun, but, like... Are you not going to injure yourself?
Or scraping your knee. No one really worried about it.
Right.
And most parents didn't even know where their kids were spending their afternoons. The freedom to roam and make some risky choices was what growing up was all about.
Imagine stepping on that. Oh.
Rolling down hills in giant tractor tires was the kind of wild, unpredictable fun that made the 1970s an exciting time to be a kid. You'd climb inside and let your friends push you down a steep hill, completely out of control as the tire gained speed. It didn't matter if you crashed into a tree or rolled off into the bushes. It was all about who could stay rolling the longest.
Yo, what if you rolled off the cliff? Oh, man. Oh, man, I've never heard of it, like, people doing these, man. This is mad.
You'd, of course, end up dizzy and banged up, but it was all in the spirit of fun.
What?
With no helmets, no supervision, and no way to stop once the tire got going.
Yo,
it was
this
a
is
game
crazy.
that gave kids a shot of pure adrenaline.
This is crazy. You guys, like, if you was growing up in the 1970s, right? Please let me know in the comments which of these you was doing. Bro, this is blowing my mind.
Playgrounds in the 1970s were a whole different experience,
that is good.
especially with their tall, all-metal structures.
Right.
Climbing to the top of a hot metal slide or navigating the jungle gym was both thrilling and dangerous. In the summer, the metal would get scorching hot, and kids could easily get burned. And if you fell, you weren't landing on soft rubber mulch like today. There was just hard dirt or even concrete.
Or you're breaking
this
your
didn't
body.
stop us. We would climb onto the merry-go-round just to see how much speed we could take before being thrown off. The swing sets would often lift off the ground the higher you swung, yet we would still see how far we could push it. The 1970s playground may have been the most dangerous place a kid could be, especially when you add in the inevitable dare from a friend.
Yo, they've definitely, with playgrounds now, especially in the UK, they've actually like padded it loads. So like, you know, in areas where you could fall off and stuff, like it's not concrete, it's like rubber kind of.
It certainly was an unforgettable part of childhood.
Mad.
Back in the 70s, as kids were roaming free, they often snacked on wild berries or sipped nectar from honeysuckle vines while playing outdoors. It was part of a carefree spirit of the time. If it looked like food, kids would try it, and so would most adults. There was always a slight chance of eating something poisonous or having an allergic reaction. But that didn't stop kids from enjoying nature's bounty.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I've never... Like, I put, like, when I was a kid, I might have put some, you know, some weird stuff in my mouth. But, yo, I can't recall ever just like, oh, there's a berry, let me pick it and eat it. Can't recall that.
It added to the adventure of playing in the yard or exploring the neighborhood. And most kids were taught by their parents what wild plants were safe to snack on.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Building a makeshift bike ramp and daring each other to jump over friends was an everyday thrill for 1970s kids. The ramps were usually cobbled together from old wood, wobbly and unstable, because you had to work with what you could find. You'd see how much air you could get, with friends lying on the ground below, cheering you on. And of course there were no helmets or pads, and crashing was likely.
I've seen this photo before, and I just love how the dad is just sat here, like, just watching. Like, he's jumping over people, bro, with a bike. Someone can seriously get injured, bro. And the dad is like just having a nice, you know, he's just chilling, bro.
So scraped knees and bruised egos were something that kids learned to deal with. In those days, kids lived for the adrenaline rush and the bragging rights that came with a successful jump. Nothing felt freer than riding in the back of a station wagon with no seatbelts, facing the rear window and making faces at the cars behind you. In the 1970s, it was common for families to pile into the car for long drives, and kids would often play games or nap in the back, with no worries about strapping on a seatbelt. Parents didn't think twice about it either. It was just how things were done. There were still sudden stops that sent kids flying forward, or turns that made them bump into one another, but it was all still worth it. In the 1970s, kids would willingly chase after DDT trucks as they spread pesticide through neighborhoods, thinking the thick fog was fun to run through.
What is it?
No one really understood the long-term health risks of inhaling the chemicals at the time.
Wait, they're spraying chemicals and kids are just...
It seemed like just another summer activity, like riding bikes or playing tag, and parents didn't seem too concerned either. The trucks would roll slowly down.
Wait, yo, it literally says... Oh, it says harmless to humans. Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm not surprised the kids are running through it, bro. You have a massive sign saying harmless to humans.
And parents didn't seem too concerned either. The trucks would roll slowly down the street, leaving a cloud behind, and kids would race through it, giggling and trying to stay in the fog as long as possible.
What? What exactly is that, though? It kills insects? Like, what does it do?
Winter came. One of the most daring things kids did back then was something called hooky bobbin, which meant grabbing onto the back of a moving car and sliding on the icy streets. It was like a makeshift sledding adventure, except the cars were real, and the ice was unpredictable. The goal was to hold on as long as you could without wiping out and getting hurt. There were many forms of this, some including a rope pulling a sled, but it was the thrill of seeing how long you could hang on while the car sped away.
Wait, the car knows they're there, right? Or no? Did they just grab a teddy car? What if he goes super fat? Nah, this is crazy, bro. Yo, that does seem fun, I ain't gonna lie, but dangerous.
This was especially popular on snow days, while kids were at home and needed fun things to keep them busy.
This is mad.
Playing with fireworks was another exciting, though risky, part of being a kid in the 70s.
Okay.
Whether it was cherry bombs or bottle rockets, kids handled them with very little supervision, lighting them off in backyards for fun or trying to blow something up. Sometimes things didn't go quite as planned, with a black cat going off too soon or a bottle rocket shooting in the wrong direction. But that didn't stop kids from eagerly lighting the next fuse.
I feel like it's not like a crazy common thing here, kids playing with fireworks, but I feel like they definitely do.
Small-scale explosives was exciting, especially for young boys during this relaxed era.
Mad.
Neighborhood games of football or street hockey in the 1970s were all about rough and tumble fun. Nobody wore pads or helmets, and injuries like scrapes, bruises, and the occasional broken bone were just part of being a kid. Full contact sports were often expected, and everyone played to win. These games could get intense and would often go on until the streetlights came on, with the kids settling their own disputes and handling whatever bumps and bruises came their way.
Medics.
In the 1970s, it wasn't unusual to see kids riding bikes, skateboards, or scooters barefoot and shirtless.
Yeah, you know what? I genuinely can't remember the last time I've actually seen outside like kids riding bikes or like just a group of kids playing. Like, I might have seen it here and there, but like not much at all, bro.
Summer afternoons were spent zooming down hills, wind in your hair, with nothing between you and the pavement.
They
the
just play
risks
games
were
now.
clear.
Video
Cuts,
games.
Stings, scrapes, and even rashes. But it wasn't something that kept kids from having as much fun as they could. Kids just weren't concerned with covering up. After a rough scrape, Mom was always ready with the Bactine or mercurochrome, and had calamine lotion for things like poison ivy, which was everywhere at the time. And of course, there were always those Band-Aids from the metal tins. I mean, who could forget that Band-Aid jingle from the 1970s?
Depend on the protection of America's #1 bandage.
I am stuck on Band-Aid, 'cause Band-Aid stuck on me.
Let me know in the comments if I missed anything. And make sure to check the description of this video for links to pick up a t-shirt.
Yo, this video was actually crazy, bro. Like, I am absolutely gobsmacked by a few of these. The train one, yo, bro, kids playing on trains yet? That ain't happening now. Bro, that's actually crazy. Like, playing games on the on train tracks, and even when the train is coming, mad. Really interesting video. Enjoyed that. Let me know if you did grow up around the 1970s, what kind of things you was doing. Really interested what you're gonna have to say about that. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more content. Live every single day on twitch.tv/L3WG. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.